Though I am not a native Chicagoan, I became swept up in Chicago Cubs mania during the 2016 baseball season. I went to multiple home games and regularly watched them on TV. The feeling around the ballpark and the city was one of excitement, wonder, and hope. After over 100 years, could this be the year the Cubs finally break through and win the World Series? As the baseball saying goes, hope springs eternal. I watched Game 7 of that World Series at my friend's apartment in Lakeview, about a mile away from Wrigley Field. The stress of every pitch, hoping for a Cubs victory, and I will never forget the eruption of noise I heard when Cleveland made the final out and the Cubs, finally the Cubs, after more than 100 years of heartache, were finally World Series champions. I was able to witness the boundless excitement of Cubs fans that night and a few days later at the victory parade. They could celebrate their beloved ball club winning the World Series. While reflecting on the readings for Palm Sunday, I was taken back to 2016 and my feelings watching the Chicago Cubs. I wonder what it must have been like to be with all those people lining the streets and watching Jesus enter Jerusalem on a donkey. Was there a similar sense of excitement, wonder, and hope? Surely many in the crowd must have believed their long-awaited Messiah was finally coming to bring prosperity to the land and an end to all their troubles. Such excitement, such hope. And yet we know just a short time later, after this triumphant entrance, comes the crucifixion. As we continue the journey to Easter, we recognize that we must be people of hope. Despite the frustrations, the sadness, the despair that enters our lives. Imagine the despair Jesus must have felt with Peter's denials and being unjustly detained. Imagine the disbelief of many in that crowd thinking Jesus was coming to bring them to the promised land, and then there he is, hanging on a cross. We see this disbelief in the world around us, the ceasefire between Palestine and Israel collapsing, the war in Ukraine continuing, and wildfires raging. How easy would it be to throw up our hands and live in despair without any hope? But as people of faith, we are called to something much more beautiful and rewarding, and yet much more difficult than despair. We are called to live in love. I am struck by the following quote on hope written by a Duke theology professor. It reads, "Hope germinates wherever and whenever love goes to work. It grows as love takes root in one's world and in one's life. It flowers and fruits when people feel the power of love nurturing and healing the communities through which they live. Hope and love are inseparable because a hopeful way of being depends on the experience of mutual nurture and the feeling that one's life matters and is worthy of protecting and celebrating." Where can we let hope and therefore love take root in our lives? Is it in our families, our workplaces, perhaps how we interact with the world around us? This week and every day, may our conviction to love be unwavering, so to live as a reminder, as the quote says, that our world matters and our lives matter, and they are worthy of protecting and celebrating. Have a blessed Holy Week.